I know that Dennis has worked really hard preparing his talk, and I know it's going to be wonderful, because everything that Dennis does is wonderful. That's just the way it is. And his wife, Sandy. So please welcome Sandy's husband, Dennis Alstrand.
What the topic is for today, and it was when I received that I'm going to be talking about empowerment, I thought, well, this is perfect, because that's something I want to learn more about. You know, we all empower each other. So like I usually do, I like to play music with people. That really is so much a solo guy. I decided to get a lot of people involved with this, a lot of people that are here, and of course Dr. Dennis Holmes, in the ideas of not just empowerment, but not empowerment in general, but specific modes of empowerment. I want to talk about the empowerment of commitment, the empowerment of receiving, the empowerment of giving. And I know I'll be preaching to the choir. I think the choir's here today, right? I use that joke every time. One of the things I'm interspersed through this talk is the lyrics to a song I wrote called "Your Voice, Your Choice," from yours truly. There you are shining like a star, glowing brightly in the night. In your moment of truth, in your moment of sight, you can change your life with the power of your voice. The greatest freedom in the world is the power of choice. So every day you rise, you get dressed, you go out to meet the world, you are walking, running, or dancing in a world of wonderful spirituality. Every time you greet someone with a smile, and I always see everyone doing that here, all greeting each other with a smile, but you are empowering happiness in each other. For all that come here who have gone to other places, the Center for Spiritual Living right here in HBP is a place to come to feel love. Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
And to feel empowered to live your life. You found it. You're a part of it. You created it. You're in a safe place in this world to come and feel love. And I think we're all very human, each of us with what some would call foibles. Foibles. And I like that word because the more you say foibles, the funnier it sounds. But hey, hey buddy, pardon me, I got someone talking to me here. I got a foible right here on my shirt, see? What are you talking about, buddy? It's a foible. Well, I'm from Brooklyn, so it's a fur ball. That's how we say it over there. And shall we say fur ball? So we all have fur balls, right? It's the truth, it's actual. Maybe we got lovable fur balls. Maybe, and I love this group is the kind of people who proudly display our fur balls. Hey, it's all right, buddy. Maybe you got to go back to saying foibles. You're getting ridiculous. It's true that one of my fur balls is to use silly, cheap accents. So you know what I'm talking about over here, right? Your voice is your name, a violin sound. Shout it to the wind, feel it echo in the ground. Your choice is your life. Everything you choose to do, everything you believe, everything you say is true. The first specific empowerment I'd like to talk about today is the empowerment of the science of mind. As created by Dr. Ernest Holmes, is not a religion, at least to me, especially in the classical sense, because it's more than a philosophy. It's more of a philosophy, it's more of a guidepost. Maybe even not so much that. It's a guy standing on the side of the road going, whatever you say becomes your reality. That guy standing on the side of the road would be Dr. Ernest Holmes. And after listening for a while, you might say, doctor, what is this science of mind all about? Is it a way to be reassured that all is important, that everything is all right? He might think for a moment, turn a smile and say, many people are under the mistaken concept that the metaphysical philosophy is attractive to people because it says God is good and everything is all right, therefore there is nothing to fear. Well, that doesn't sound too bad. Thanks, doctor. Nothing to fear. Holmes removes his glasses and polishes them, choosing his words. That is far from the truth, though. What science of mind says is this: do you wish to be loved? Then stop hating. Do you want to be happy? Then be sure that you are not the cause of unhappiness for others. Well, hold on a sec, doctor. You've evaded the question. He's in the car, by the way. Trying to drive and talk to you at the same time. Aren't we taught to hate those that are different than us? To pity those whose souls were clearly to be banished into the immortal fires of, do you wish to be loved? Then stop hating. Never be the unhappiness and the occasion for others if you want to be happy. Yeah. If every day we have a clearer understanding and a clearer concept, if daily we are realizing more truth and in applying it to our actions, then we are on the right path and eventually shall be made free. Thank you, doctor. I really told him, didn't I? The empowerment of intention. I want to tell a little story that has happened recently. And I've learned firsthand the empowerment of intention. This is my standing in the light for today. Can't really see it too well in the light, but this is about 50 people who are in my Special Olympics organization. Athletes, volunteers, coaches. We're called the Red Waves. I'm very proud of them. My management style for them when we go on trips 3 times a year to Oahu is let all the chaperones, all the volunteers and coaches know what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be, and then trust that they'll do it. If they mess something up or whatever, put a positive way, then I take them to the side. I don't talk to them in front of other people, that kind of thing. That's the style that I want the Red Waves to be. This last trip, Sandy mentioned I had a kind of an ailment still kind of going on, but this last trip I wasn't able to make it, so I trusted that my volunteers would take over and do it. Unfortunately, there were 2 volunteers that are kind of new. They were almost like East Coast style of people. They came, when I was gone, they took over the delegation, and they were telling people where to go, telling people what to do. You got to be over there. How come you're not there? You're supposed to be there. How come, where's your athletes at? And they're worried about everyone else but themselves, right? I was hearing phone calls all weekend. It was getting stressful. And I learned that I am really confident about the style that I want the Red Waves to be in. I put out an intention that these 2 people are lovely people, and if they want to learn how to work with my organization, we'll work together and it'll happen. And if they don't, it'll be adios. And also that we would leave as friends. There would be no acrimony, right? That's my solid intention. And then also to let the Red Waves know again that the next trip we take, there's going to be a lot of trust, including with the athletes too. And that's exactly how it worked out. The 2 people decided under friendly terms to leave, to do their own business. And I think all the Red Waves are pretty clear now about how things will be done in the future. That's a heck of a group right there. Wish you could see them better. I don't put a lot of animations into this slide set, but here's one. Sandy talked about the very thing that I wanted to talk about her. About 2 or 3 years ago, you decided to get your master's degree.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. But the commitment started a couple of years ago. I've been watching her totally committed to this thing. It's been amazing to me because I wouldn't be able to do it. I would not be able to do what she's doing. She talked about, she's getting towards the end, she's been in all these classes, of course, right? She's been coaching. She took us all up the mountainside one time and we went and looked at some incredible stuff through the telescopes. That was part of her class. This has been an amazing run, and she wrote a 50-page document that got a 98%. So not only 50 pages. So I'm sitting behind her watching this going, holy cow, this is pretty good. This is amazing. I thought, oh, she's graduated, this is the thing. But no, then she had a 20-page thing to do within 2 days, and she just sat there and did it and got a high score for that as well. As far as I can tell, and as I understand correctly, she is just like that close to her master's degree. So I applaud you. Standing ovation for me. her commitment is greater than any single thing, physical singular thing I've ever done. When she finished her 20-page document, I said, I need to learn about the empowerment of commitment. And before she even sat down, I got this from her. This is Sandy's quote: "Making the commitment is essential to me for fulfilling my goals. Once I've completed a goal, I feel more self-confidence, and it increases my faith in my abilities and myself. I feel kind of a glow and contentment, a kind of wonderment. Wow, I did that. I did it." Thank you, Sandy. It's time to honor the magic in your soul. It's time to set your soul loose. Set your soul loose. Not long ago, I was over at Doris's house. Hey, Doris. There's a lot of us there. I was going to start naming names, but I think I'd forget someone, so. We were having this great discussion about science of mind. It was a great discussion, and Bonnie made the point that we really can only empower ourselves. And at first I was defensive because, my job, I work with disabled welfare clients. I try to empower them to get back to work, get off the rolls. Special Olympics, I try to empower athletes to, get out of their houses and become more athletic and sociable. And I thought about it for a while. I was you're 2 steps ahead of me, Bonnie, basically what it was. So I thought, I wasn't really right. I help others empower themselves, but I have to empower myself before I can empower others. And I don't empower them, I help them empower themselves. And when I help them empower themselves, it re-empowers me. It's a mess. It's a good mess. It's a beautiful mess. But I think I got it. And then another thing about Bonnie, she gave what is it called, Sandy? Every time I practice a speech, I get to the part where you actually give a treatment. The offering, that's it. I told her to be ready with that because I forget what it's called. Bonnie, you did a treatment and an offering a couple weeks ago, and I was sitting there going, "This is perfect for my talk. This is perfect. What am I going to do? Write it down?" She was just going, right? What am I going to do? Write it down? I can't get this all down. And then I remembered that Adam has it set up where we can go on the web and look at it to talk. So I was able to quote Bonnie. There she is. Here's how she started. "We have enough. And we are enough. Let's just know that we're able to bless and give our treasure." Is that her voice or what? "To others, and that it really makes a difference, and that it helps them to a whole new level. Let's just know that we have that power." And once we go, the empowerment of giving follows right up with a black screen. The empowerment of receiving. Most of us have to learn how to receive. Most of us are not used to receiving. I think most of us here are healers, but how good are we at being healies? We have to open ourselves up to receive. I wrote to Erica and I said, "Can you give me a quote about receiving?" And she thought for about a week, and there she is. I like that picture. When you relax enough to be in the place of receiving, even if it's receiving a small thing like a smile or a hug, it can open your heart. It primes the pump, so to speak, and all the other things that the universe has been trying to give you start to show up as well. The empowerment of gratitude for things that have yet to happen. That was a convoluted title, right? Look behind me here, and there's a perfect example of the power of gratitude for things that have yet to happen. I always wish I had a lot of time to talk about how I perceive these windows, but they would have never happened had the people of this congregation not been behind Stephen Jockey and Reverend Tang and whoever else was involved in putting it together. Excuse me for a minute. Dr. Holmes, just hang on. Dr. Holmes, I got something I want to talk about. Okay. He got everyone into it. I remember he brought this paper. His son had designed these windows. They're just like these drawings of planets. And I was going, how's that going to be a window? It's going to be awesome. And then one day, and I think it was this one, we came in and this first window was right here. The rest of the wall was still just white. This window was here, and we just went, oh, this is going to be freaking good, man. This is good. No, excuse me for a minute, Dennis. Dr. Holmes, can you hold on a second? With all respect, of course. Then one day, this window right here was in. And while I'm talking about this window, if you could look at this red light and tell me that you don't think it's like about 2 feet in front of the rest of the window? Is that just me? Excuse me, Dennis. Dr. Holmes, I'm sorry, you're starting to annoy me here a little bit. And then in some kind of order, all this happened. This is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. It would not have happened if the people of this congregation had not given him the go-ahead, go for this thing. I don't even know how you do it. You're a carpenter, man. I don't know how you cut a perfect circle like this to the shape of the window that you made. I don't know how you do it. I have no idea. I think Dr. Holmes has been trying to get my attention. Good pick of him, by the way, right? What if I could get one like that? Take it away, Doctor. All tomorrow's good may rest today upon your gratitude. For he who gives thanks before the wine is pressed, from the grapes still clinging to the vine, has shown a faith above. Beyond the present hour and his thanksgiving holds the future flower. That's actually Ernest and Fenwick Holmes. This next section, I'm going to make a left turn. It's the empowerment and the power of soul. I want to show you a picture of a band I was in back in the 70s. Before I do, I want to point out that you might not have noticed I'm a white man. And like most white men, I push things to get them going. They're going to push them, going to make them happen, right? That's how us Europeans are. That's how we took over America, by the way. See if you can guess which one stands out like a sore thumb in that photo. Oh, well, if you could see it, that's me right there. With red hair amongst all the black stuff. So even in the 70s, I was a white man even then. I was just kind of a white young man back then. But we were doing good funk music, and I was going for the funk. I was going for it. I was pushing it. And the black guys in the band, I didn't really know what they were doing at the time, but they're in my face on stage going, just lighten it up, man. Just let it roll. Let it roll. They're like showing me how to do it. I'm going, here, I'm into it, man. Let it roll. Okay. Then, one day, I saw the light. We did a song, you might remember, it's called Get the Funk Out of My Face. And in that song are 2 lines that changed everything for me. This was serious. You don't have to get it. You just have to let it. And I was going, this is what you guys have been talking about. You don't have to get it. You just have to let it. And so, when I was preparing for this talk, there were a couple times where stuff just bammed into my head and said, this is what you got to talk about, this particular thing right here. I never thought I would talk about the power of soul. Or a song that I've been listening to by Jimi Hendrix for a lot of years, but I never really understood or had a clue what he was talking about until I was thinking about, you don't have to get it, you just have to let it. Here's what Jimi Hendrix says in a song called The Power of Soul. The music is going wild and it just comes down. And he says it's an escape to a faraway land. It's so groovy to be floating around sometimes, and even a jellyfish will tell you that. As I said, flotation is groovy, but it's easy. Even a jellyfish can tell you that. Yeah, but that old jellyfish been floating so long and so slack, Lord, it ain't got a bone in its jelly back. Floating every day and every night and it's riding high, but sometimes there's a risk, because sometimes the wind ain't right. With the power of soul, anything is possible. With the power of soul, anything is possible. With the power of you, anything you want to do, you got it, Aaron. And I went, I know what he's saying, man. This is what he's saying. He's talking about jellyfish. Jellyfish don't get it. They let it. They're in the ocean going, they're not going to attack. Jellyfish been floating so long and so slack, he ain't got a bone in his jelly bag, and that's how you play funk music. When I wanted to talk about the empowerment of spirituality, I could have written to anyone here, and I would have got a great answer. Absolutely no doubt about it. I would have had 50 great answers over how many people are here. They would have all been good. I wrote to Kathy, and she didn't take long to write this back to me. It's beautiful. The empowerment of spirituality. Being empowered spiritually is a path to freedom from fear and doubt, because we come to learn that each of us is a beloved and valued expression of spirit, no matter what we do and how much we accomplish on this plane. When we direct our thoughts and pray believing, we learn to manifest more of what we desire, whether it's healing, abundance, or loving relationships. And I think that the deeper we delve into spiritual empowerment, we learn that love is the only true superpower. I love that line. Well done, Kathy. And we choose to become more loving. I have nothing to add. Other than she was talking about the love being the true superpower. And that goes right into my next talk, the power of love. We could talk for days on that, I think all of us. Dr. Holmes says, love alone can give love. Sympathy alone can sympathize, and only goodness can really do or be good. The empowerment of love may be the greatest, this is off again, back to me, may be the greatest empowerment of all, because love is so powerful. It is one of the ultimate empowermenters. Quite a new word. To take someone by the hand and really love them in your own inimitable way is not something that is often refused. How can you not love love? It is powerful. The power is overwhelming. And when you really stop and think about it, we all have love in our lives. It didn't have to be that we all have love in our lives. It did not have to be that we love. Dinosaurs lived for 150 million years. I don't think that they felt love for each other. At least that's not the image I get of them. Aside from Charlotte, I don't think spiders have love. Dogs do, cats do, rats do, and people experience the power of love. You don't need money, you don't take fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's strong and it's sudden and it's cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. Huey Lewis. If you want love, then state it. I have love. Love is all around me. I'm not messing this thing up with hate and unhappiness. You know, it may feel good to say I hate that person or that thing. And if you do, you're going to get it right back. And as Tag used to say, the universe will go, yes, my darling, and have a shovel full more. Dr. Holmes, do you wish to be loved? Then stop hating. Do you want to be happy? Then be sure you are never the occasion for unhappiness in others. I feel healed. Be the occasion for happiness in others. Oh, Eddie, there's no place. Wait, wrong movie, sorry. This was my other, the song that kind of came to me out of a bolt, out of the blue. I've been listening to the song by the Beatles, written by John Lennon. Let me get him into the picture. Across the Universe. Wow, it came out in 1968. I've never really listened to it, I realized. And then I saw on Facebook this quote from that song. It's just mind-blowing. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like this, like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. That is awesome. Thank you, John Lennon. George Harrison said, when you see beyond yourself, you will find peace of mind is waiting there. And you will find that we're all one. And life goes on within you without you. So I'm talking about John and George. I got to put Paul McCartney in, right? And I'd like to end it with this. And if you want to sing it along with me, first of all, I want to thank you all for your undivided attention. I appreciate it very much. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you may owe. Thank you very much, everybody. You're awesome. What an awesome crowd. Thank you. I'm speechless.
Not for long.
That was excellent, as I knew it would be. I feel empowered.